When we think of the American frontier, what comes to mind? Maybe rugged cowboys, vast open prairies, and the promise of a new life. But behind these romantic images lies a much grittier, more complex story. One of incredible hardship, unwavering courage, and the relentless ambition that forged a nation. Today, we're uncovering the untold stories of America's fearless frontiersmen, the pioneers who didn't just cross the continent, but built its very foundation. Let's travel back to the late 18th century. The Revolutionary War is over, and the United States has just acquired a massive piece of land, the Northwest Territory. This area, which would become Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin, was a wild, untamed wilderness. It was here that the first great wave of American pioneers would test their mettle. These weren't just lone adventurers. They were families, farmers, artisans, and visionaries, all seeking something more. They loaded their lives into Conestoga wagons and set out on treacherous trails like the Wilderness Road, a path literally carved through the Appalachian Mountains by legendary figures like Daniel Boone. The journey itself was a brutal test of survival. They faced unpredictable weather, from scorching summers to bone-chilling winters. Disease was a constant threat, with cholera and dysentery sweeping through wagon trains. And the landscape itself was an adversary, with treacherous river crossings, dense forests, and rugged mountains that could break wagons, spirits, and bodies. Yet, they pushed on, driven by the promise of land and a chance to build a better future for their children. Once they arrived, the struggle was far from over. Their first task was to build a home, often a simple log cabin constructed with their own hands. They had to clear dense forests just to plant their first crops, battling unfamiliar soil and pests. Every day was a fight for survival. But out of this shared struggle, something remarkable emerged. Community. Neighbors who were miles apart would come together to help raise a barn, share food during a lean winter, or protect each other from danger. These isolated pockets of civilization were the seeds from which towns and cities would grow. What's fascinating is that these pioneers weren't just building farms. They were building a new kind of society, guided by radical ideals. The Northwest Ordinance of 1787, the law governing this territory, was a revolutionary document. It guaranteed religious freedom, and most importantly, it prohibited slavery. It also set aside land in every township for the establishment of public schools. Think about that. In the midst of struggling just to survive, they prioritized universal education and freedom. These ideals, established on the frontier, became core tenets of the American identity, shaping the nation's character for centuries to come. To truly understand their experience, we have to look at the personal accounts they left behind. Diaries and letters from this era are a treasure trove of raw, unfiltered emotion. They reveal the profound loneliness of a wife missing her family back east, the joy of a successful harvest, and the deep-seated fear of the unknown. They write about the simple beauty of a sunset over the prairie, the heartbreak of losing a child to sickness, and the unyielding hope that kept them going. These aren't just historical documents. They are intimate conversations across time, reminding us that these legendary pioneers were real people, with real fears, dreams, and a strength we can hardly imagine. As communities began to take root in the East, a new breed of frontiersmen emerged: the explorer, the mountain man, These were individuals who weren't content to settle down. They were drawn by the mystery of what lay beyond the next mountain range. Men like Jedediah Smith were the embodiment of this spirit. In the 1820s, Smith became one of the first Americans to journey overland to California. His expeditions were the stuff of legend. He survived a grizzly bear attack that nearly tore his face off, calmly instructing his companions to sew him back together. He crossed the blistering Mojave Desert and the freezing Sierra Nevada mountains, mapping vast, unknown territories. Smith and other mountain men, like Jim Bridger and Kit Carson, were instrumental in opening up the West. They established the fur trade, blazed trails that would later become major pioneer routes, like the Oregon Trail, and served as guides for military and scientific expeditions. Their knowledge of the land was unparalleled. They learned survival skills from Native American tribes, adopting their methods for hunting, tracking, and navigating the wilderness. While their relationship with Native peoples was complex and often fraught with conflict, there was also a degree of mutual respect and cultural exchange that is often overlooked in popular history. These men were the bridge between the settled East and the wild, unexplored West. The story of the American frontier is not a simple tale of triumph. It is a story of conflict, of cultural clashes, of environmental transformation, and of immense human sacrifice. The expansion came at a great cost, particularly for the Native American populations who had inhabited these lands for millennia. Their stories of resistance, displacement, and survival are a crucial and often painful part of this history that deserves its own deep exploration. But the story of the frontiersmen themselves is a powerful testament to human resilience and the desire to create something new. They were ordinary people who, when faced with extraordinary circumstances, achieved remarkable things. They didn't just settle a continent, they tested and defined the very ideals of their young nation: freedom, opportunity, and self-reliance. Their legacy isn't just in the towns and cities they built, but in the spirit of exploration and determination that continues to drive us forward today. The untold stories of these fearless pioneers remind us that history is made not just by generals and politicians, but by the countless everyday people who dared to dream of a different life and had the courage to build it. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found these stories as fascinating as we do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Let us know in the comments which part of the frontier story you'd like to explore next. Until then, stay curious